The images on the walls at the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center in New York are like something from a film or a history book.
I was born in 1939, and I was a hidden child.
For Leo Ullman, it was childhood, one he didn't realize was different from others.
I basically stayed in most of the time to a third-floor apartment. My hair was dyed blonde. I didn't know a war was going on. I just thought that people lived the way that I was living.
At 3 years old, his parents sent him to hide with a family of strangers in Amsterdam, a place he called home for the next few years.
They were religious and took the view that it was the right thing to do. They never wavered from that. Every time that I might have asked them about that, that was their answer. It was the right thing to do.
He says his entire family, though apart, went into hiding. It wasn't until years later that he heard the full story of his parents' fight for survival.
They went into hiding in an attic on a main street in Amsterdam with no light, no electricity, one window.
We are among the last generation of Holocaust survivors, but we are also the last generation to hear these firsthand accounts.
Dana Arschin, storyteller for the museum, spends her days documenting stories like Ullman's for two reasons. First, to combat Holocaust denial.
You just have to tell one lie long enough and often enough, and it's easy for people to think that that's the truth, that's the reality.
She also does it because the stories often mirror her own family's quest for survival.
My grandfather, who anyone who knows me knows I call my Poppy, passed away just shy of his 102nd birthday in December of 2023. He was an Auschwitz concentration camp survivor. I am very aware of the fact that I would not be here today if not for my Poppy, if not for his perseverance.
It's that same perseverance that drives Ullman, whose family survived the ordeal, eventually immigrating to the U.S. Here, he became a Harvard graduate, a triathlete, a proud father, and a Marine, which he says saved his life for the second time.
I think between the Marine Corps and getting married, I got straightened out.
I'll bet. Those two will do it.
Yes, that's right.
Today, he does his part to combat anti-Semitism through a series of books and school visits, teaching the next generation history's hard truths.
It's very, very important to tell the Holocaust story and let it not be diminished over time and compared to other stories because it's unique.
While many Holocaust victims like Anne Frank spent their time in hiding, others, like Jack Werfel, hid in plain sight. Born to a Catholic father and a Jewish mother, Werfel and his brother were baptized in the Catholic Church early in the war.
This was one of the things that saved us during this entire time, during the entire Third Reich, because every time we had to fill out paper or someone would ask us, who are you, and so on, we would say we were Catholic.
The boys joined the Hitler Youth and were eventually sent away to live with strangers, all part of the family's attempt at survival.
We noticed that people were disappearing. Neighbors, one morning, they were gone. Friends of mine were gone.
He and his brother were taken in by a German woman affectionately called Tante Irma, who he says concealed their Jewish identity.
The SS or the Gestapo came and they would ask her, who are these two boys? And she would simply say, I adopted them. They're my boys. And she would always somehow talk her way out of it, and people would leave.
His parents were eventually put in concentration camps, his father as a political prisoner, his mother for her identity. Neither would survive the experience. Before his mother's death and sentence to Auschwitz, he sneaked into prison to see her, getting one final piece of advice.
Learn as much as you can, and be good boys, and you know I love you, and I know that you love me. And go now before someone catches you here.
He was never forced to fight for Germany, but says he learned a lot about the sea and maritime operations while at the camp. When the war ended, he and his brother came to the U.S., where he learned English and was drafted into the Army, becoming an interpreter and a member of the Color Guard. Eventually marrying the love of his life, Zonia, the former Miss El Salvador, raising a family here in Baltimore, and starting an insurance company, where he's still coming in nearly every day.
When I think back of the two lives, this life here went so quick, it was so easy, and we built a business, and we worked every day, and we loved it, and we had a passion for it, you know. It was wonderful here. Whereas in Germany, it was so difficult.
At 91 years old, he's written a book, My Two Lives, sharing the story of his life before and after the Holocaust, a journey he says has rekindled difficult memories, but hopes has a lasting impact.
If I just accomplish that 10 people learn a little about of what happened, then this will be worth it.
Amber Strong, Scripps News, Baltimore.